You know, my favorite thing about the city of Denver is that pro athletes support other pro athletes. Nuggets playing the Clippers tonight, and look who's here to show his support. Broncos receiver Courtland Sutton. What's up, my man?
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah. Well, we know you're a hooper. We'll get into that in a little bit, and we know you've been to several games, but how much are you looking forward to the playoff intensity tonight?
I mean, it's amazing. The atmosphere, I mean, I'm not surprised by the Denver fans showing up and supporting their team, but the atmosphere in the arena is always the best. It reminds me a lot of Empower when we're out there playing. You know, they show up, they show out, they're loud, and they're invested. And I think that's the best thing that about the atmosphere here.
Yeah, this fan base is the best, no matter what the sport is. And Courtland, you've been to a number of Nuggets games. What's your impression of the basketball team? What do you like most about this team?
Yeah, you know, I think over the years I've been here, the team has changed a little bit, and I think the one consistent, steady part is the obvious. You know, having Jokic. When you have a MVP caliber player, you know, playing on your team, it makes it a lot easier to go out there and perform. And you know, I tell people all the time, he should be going for his 5th in a row MVP.
Yeah.
You know. I'm hoping that they don't do him dirty this year, but you know the people get to vote how they want to vote. Yeah. I think us in the city, we know that he's an MVP, and you know I know it doesn't mean much if they don't give him the award, but he's a great player, and you know he's easily became one of my favorite players because of the way he plays. The guy just loves basketball, loves his horses, and he just does his thing.
What'd you think of that finish Saturday in L.A.?
Oh, I mean, it was amazing. I'm sitting there watching it, and, you know, obviously I'm pretty sure all of us are biting our nails at the fact that we had a 20-point lead, and then, you know, it came down to the very end of the game. But, you know, to see the team, you know, rally, you know, the guys never gave up. AG had an amazing hustle play. It doesn't surprise me of him being the guy to make that play because he does it, you know, game in and game out. He's the guy that he might not go out there and give you 30, but the 15 to 20 points that he does give you, you know, they're valuable points. And, you know, watch him be the guy to make that play. You know, I would say that it would be him or Christian Brown making that play because they're your hustle guys. You know, they're going to get you those scrappy buckets.
You know, from just an athlete's perspective, the Nuggets were up big in that game. Obviously, they came all the way back, had to win that way. Just talk about what goes through an athlete's mind, and how do you stay locked in to be able to salvage something in the way they did?
Yeah, I think that it goes and it speaks volumes to the team's camaraderie. I think that, you know, this team is a team that they know that they can be in any game, no matter, you know, what the score may be. They go out there and they compete to the very end of the game, and I think that play embodies the attitude of this team, and I think that's what's going to carry them through this playoffs. And you know, I'm looking forward to them continuing that tonight. You know, hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but I think if it does, as we saw Saturday, those guys will find a way to win.
Man, you had a lot of stuff to watch over the weekend in addition to the playoffs, basketball, hockey. We know you're an Avs fan. You go to Avs games, but how much of the draft did you watch, and what'd you think about the Broncos haul?
Yeah, you know, I tapped in a little bit, especially the first day, just trying to see what was going to happen. You know, I think that we had a really good draft over the course of the weekend. We picked up some really good pieces in different parts of our team, and I'm looking forward to those guys getting in, being able to see them, get hands on them, being able to conversate with them, you know, welcome them into the locker room and into the culture. I think we're building something really special. Coach Payton and the guys are doing something really nice with, you know, adding the right pieces to our team, and I think they're doing a good job with that.
You know, I'm happy for him because I know he was here during the dark days. I've interviewed you in that Broncos locker room after so many losses, and to see you smile after wins now, it's just a different world for you.
Oh, 1,000%. You know, I tell people we took the step in the right direction last year. You know, adding, obviously, the big piece was adding Bo Nix. You know, having a quarterback, having a guy that, you know, the team can rally around, the organization can rally around, but the fans been able to rally around our guy. You know, the dude just shows up and does his thing, and, you know, I think there was a lot of, you know, not so much hype. People weren't really excited at first because they didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But, you know, being able to see him play at Oregon and do his thing, and then watching him develop before the season even started, it was amazing to watch. Just having the conversations with him. You know, he was a guy that was far more mature beyond his age, and, you know, obviously going and put together an amazing rookie year. He has a really bright future. I'm looking forward to it.
You know, I was going to say, was there a moment at which you knew Bo Nix was like the real deal? But it sounds like to me, preseason, you could start to tell that this was the guy.
Yeah, man, training camp, just like I said, having conversations with him, you wouldn't think that he was a rookie. You would think that he was a seasoned vet. The guy's talking about, hey, you know, when they're giving you this type of coverage, I'm thinking about throwing it at this point, and you know, look for me here. I might change up the route here or whatever it may be. Having those conversations with a guy that was technically a rookie, you know, you see, like I said, you see that from seasoned vets. So to be able to have him come in and be as confident as he was, but also be mature enough to be able to take the step back and say, I don't know everything. If you guys see something, come to me and have a conversation. I'm like, man, that's huge from a rookie.
For those that don't know, Courtland Sutton played a year of college basketball at SMU. The legendary Larry Brown was your coach. But you're no longer just the only Bronco. That tight end that they drafted
Utah,
late,
yeah.
that dude played college ball too, man. So who's the best player in the room now?
I mean, he isn't there yet, so I get to hold on to it for a little bit.
No doubt. What's it like with playing for Larry Brown? I mean, he coached here as well, but talk about the experience playing for a legend.
Man, you said it perfectly. A legend. You know, I went into practice. I wasn't a guy that I never tell people I wasn't a guy that was on a dual scholarship. You know, they needed a little help with some bodies. I went over, was able to help, but to be able to show up to practice and watch him lead men, I think that was the biggest thing. He's an amazing human being, and you know, watching him coach and watching him lead those guys. I mean, while I was there, SMU was a team that was competing for American Conference Championship every year. They had a 2-time league MVP, and you know, watching Coach Brown coach those guys, you know, day in and day out, it spoke volumes to him being a leader of men. And I was able to take some things from him, just the way that he was able to lead that team to the success that they had.
Courtland, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. I know you signed a couple shirts for the fans, so we'll have you give those away. We'll let you sign our wall. And, man, cheer hard tonight, my man.
Oh, yeah,
cheer hard. Give it up for Courtland Sutton, everybody.